Welcome back. It's 7 a.m. I start to get tired. So this is F-16. That's about a big subject. I cannot read today, that's too much text. This whole F-16, this long one variants, this operational history. But let's read this. I'd like to read it again. But why I spent my Saturday evening do this? I don't know what should do something else this early Saturday evening.
General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon variants. A large number of variants of the General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon have been produced by General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, and various licensed manufacturers. The details of the F-16 variants, along with major modification programs and derivative designs significantly influenced by the F-16, are described below. Pre-production variants, edit. YF-16, edit. 2 single-seat YF-16 prototypes were built for the lightweight fighter, LWF, competition. The first YF-16 was rolled out at Fort Worth on the 13th of December, 1973 and accidentally accomplished its first flight on the 21st of January, 1974. Followed by its scheduled first flight on the 2nd of February, 1974. The second prototype first flew on the 9th of March, 1974. Both YF-16 prototypes participated in the fly-off against the Northrop YF-17 prototypes, with the F-16 winning the Air Combat Fighter, ACF, competition, as the LWF program had been renamed. 72 to 1567, on display at the Virginia Air and Space Science Center in Hampton, Virginia. 72 to 1568, under restoration for display at the Fort Worth Aviation Museum in Fort Worth, Texas. F-16 FSD, edit. In January 1975, the Air Force ordered 8 full-scale development, FSD, F-16S6 single-seat F-16A and a pair of 2-seat F-16B for test and evaluation. The first FSD F-16A flew on the 8th of December, 1976 and the first FSD F-16B on the 8th of August, 1977. Over the years, these aircraft have been used as test demonstrators for a variety of research, development and modification study programs. F-16A, FSD. 75 to 745, modified as F-16/101 with GEF-101 engine. Used as a traveling exhibit for USAF recruiting service. 75 to 746, Gate Guard at McIntyre ANGB, South Carolina. 75 to 747, modified as F-16XL/B with cranked arrow. On display at the Air Force Flight Test Museum at Edwards Air Force Base near Rosamond, California. 75 to 748, on display at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. 75 to 749, modified as F-16XL/A with cranked arrow wing. In storage at the Air Force Flight Test Museum at Edwards Air Force Base near Rosamond, California. 75 to 750, modified as AFTI test bed. in storage at the National Museum of the United States Air Force. F-16B, FSD. 75 to 751, in storage at the Air Force Flight Test Museum at Edwards Air Force Base near Rosamond, California. 75 to 752, modified as Wild Weasel Testbed, later modified as F-16/79 with GEJ-79. On display at the Frontiers of Flight Museum in Dallas, Texas. Main production variants, edit. F-16A/B, edit. The F-16A, single seat, and F-16B, two-seat, were initially equipped with the Westinghouse and /APG-66 pulse Doppler radar, Pratt & Whitney F100PW200 turbofan, rated at 14,670 lbf, 64.9 kN, and 23,830 lbf, 106.0 kN, with afterburner. The USAF bought 375 F-16s and 125 F-16Bs, with delivery completed in March 1985. F-16A/B Block 1/5/10, edit. Early blocks. Block the 1st of May, 2010, featured relatively minor differences between each. Most were later upgraded to the Block 10 configuration in the early 1980s. There were 94 Block 1 197 Block 5 and 312 Block 10 aircraft produced. Block 1 is the early production model with the radome painted black. It was discovered that the Block 1 aircraft's black radome became an obvious visual identification cue at long range, so the color of the radome was changed to the low visibility gray for Block 5 aircraft. During the operation of F-16 Block 1, it was discovered that rainwater could accumulate in certain spots within the fuselage, so drainage holes were drilled in the forward fuselage and tail fin area for Block 5 aircraft. The Soviet Union significantly reduced the export of titanium during the late 1970s, so the manufacturers of the F-16 used aluminum instead wherever practical. New methods were also used. The corrugated aluminum is bolted to the epoxy surface for Block 10 aircraft, replacing the old method of aluminum honeycomb being glued to the epoxy surface used in earlier aircraft. The breakdown is as follows: 90 F-16A Block 1, 4 F-16B Block 1, 100 F-16A Block 5, 97 F-16B Block 5, 300 F-16A Block 10 and 12 F-16B Block 10. It is unclear how many of each type were produced, but these figures are generally reasonable. As mentioned above, 375 A types and 125 B types were delivered to the U.S. Air Force, and the remaining aircraft were exported. F-16A/B Block 15, edit. The first major change in the F-16, the Block 15 aircraft featured larger horizontal stabilators, the addition of two hardpoints to the chin inlet, an improved and forward/APG-66 V2 radar, and increased capacity for the underwing hardpoints. The Block 15 also gained the Have-Quick 2 secure UHF radio. To counter the additional weight of the new hardpoints, the horizontal stabilizers were enlarged by 30%. Block 15 is the most numerous variant of the F-16, with 983 produced. 900 F-16A Block 15S and 83 F-16B Block 15S were produced and rolled out, the last of which was delivered to the Royal Thai Air Force in 1996. F-16A/B Block 20, edit. According to some sources, the F-16A/B variants for the Republic of China Air Force are designated F-16M Block 20 and F-16BM Block 20. Other sources refer to them simply as F-16A/B Block 20 without reference to the M designation for midlife update. Block 20 added some F-16C/D Block 50/52 capabilities, improved an /APG-66 V3 radar with added CW mode to guide two types of BVR missiles, AIM-7M Sparrow missiles and AIM-120 AMRAAM, carriage of AGM-84 Harpoon missiles, as well as the Lantern navigation and targeting pod. The Block 20 computers are significantly improved in comparison to that of the earlier versions that later integrated into post-1997 Block 50/52, and also getting color MFD. The Republic of China, Taiwan, received 150 F-16A/B Block 20 aircraft. Some sources refer to the F-16 midlife update as Block 20, but the Block 20 designation was specifically used for new production jets, with upgraded jets being referred to as MLU or Block 15 MLU. The breakdown is 100 F-16A Block 20 and 50 F-16B Block 20, but 10A models have been lost during missions. At one point, 14 aircraft were sent to the U.S. mainland for training. F-16C/D, edit. F-16C, single seat, and F-16D, two-seat. The final number of aircraft built and used by the U.S. Air Force were 209 F-16C Block 25, 200 F-16C Block 30, 100 F-16C Block 32, 200 F-16C Block 40, 115 F-16C Block 42, 35 F-16D Block 25, 200 F-16D Block 30, 133 F-16D Block 32, 200 F-16D Block 40 and 100 F-16D Block 42. At this stage, the A/B models were retired and either exported, scrapped for parts, or mothballed and sent to storage facilities. Currently, with the introduction of the F-22 stealth fighter and the mass production of the F-35, the C/D models are being rapidly retired, and the current 2024 fleet remaining in the U.S. Air Force and National Guard consists of 123 F-16C Block 25, 200 F-16C Block 30, 100 F-16C Block 32, 200 F-16C Block 40, 115 F-16C Block 42, 37 F-16D Block 40 and 100 F-16D Block 42. F-16C/D Block 25, edit. The Block 25 F-16C first flew in June 1984 and entered USAF service in September. The aircraft version is fitted with the Westinghouse and /APG-68 radar and has improved precision night attack capability. Block 25 introduced a very substantial improvement in cockpit avionics, including improved fire control and stores management computers, an up-front controls, UFC, integrated data control panel, data transfer equipment, multifunction displays, radar altimeter, and many other changes. Block 25s were first delivered with the Pratt & Whitney F100PW200 engine and later upgraded to the Pratt & Whitney F100PW220E. With 209 Block 25C models and 35D models delivered, today the USAF's Air National Guard and Air Education and Training Command are the only remaining users of this variant. One F-16C, nicknamed the Lethal Lady, had flown over 7,000 hours by April 2008. The 209 F-16C blocks and 35 F-16D blocks that were manufactured were also deployed to the front lines. F-16C/D Block 30/32, edit. This was the first block of F-16s affected by the Alternative Fighter Engine project, under which aircraft were fitted with the traditional Pratt & Whitney engines or, for the first time, the General Electric F-110 GE100. From this point on, blocks ending in 0, for example, Block 30, are powered by GE, and blocks ending in 2, for example, Block 32, are fitted with Pratt & Whitney engines. The first Block 30 F-16 entered service in 1987. Major differences include the carriage of the AGM-45 Shrike, AGM-88 Harm, and the AIM-120 missiles, which entered service in September 1991. From Block 30D, aircraft were fitted with larger engine air intakes, called a modular common inlet duct, for the increased thrust GE engine. Since the Block 32 retained the Pratt & Whitney F-100 engine, the smaller, normal shock inlet, was retained for those aircraft. 200 F-16C Block 30, 200 F-16D Block 30, 100 F-16C Block 32 and 133 F-16D Block 32 were built. Of these, only the early Block 30s were exported to 6 countries. The Block 32H/J aircraft assigned to the USAF Thunderbird Flight Demonstration Squadron were built in 1986 and 1987 and are some of the oldest operational F-16s in the Air Force. The Air National Guard procured many upgrades for their fleet of aging Block 32s, including the addition of improved inertial guidance systems, improved electronic warfare suite, and /ALQ-213, and upgrades to carry the Northrop Grumman Lightning targeting pod. The Standard Inertial Navigation Unit, INU, was first changed to a ring laser gyroscope, and later upgraded again to an embedded GPS/INS, EGI, system which combines a global positioning system, GPS, receiver with an inertial navigation system, INS. The EGI provided the capability to use Joint Direct Attack Munition, JDAM, and other GPS-aided munitions, see Block 50 list below. This capability, in combination with the Lightning targeting pod, greatly enhanced the capabilities of this aircraft. The sum of these modifications to the baseline Block 30 is commonly known as the F-16C and plus, pronounced ++ version. F-16C/D Block 40/42, edit. Entering service in 1988, the Block 40/42 is the improved all-day /all-weather strike variant equipped with lantern pod, also unofficially designated the F-16C G/DG. The night capability gave rise to the name Night Falcons. This block features strengthened undercarriage for lantern pods, an improved radar, and a GPS receiver. From 2002, the Block 40/42 increased the weapon range available to the aircraft, including JDAM, AGM-154 Joint Standoff Weapon, JSOW, Wind-Corrected Munitions Dispenser, WCMD, and the enhanced EGBU-27 Paveway Bunker Buster. Also incorporated in this block was the addition of cockpit lighting systems compatible with aviators' night vision imaging system, ANVIS, equipment. The USAF's Time Compliance Technical Order, TCTO, that added the night vision, ANVIS, compatible systems was completed in 2004. 200 F-16C Block 40, 200 F-16D Block 40, 115 F-16C Block 42 and 100 F-16D Block 42 were built. All served with the United States Air Force, but were later exported after being replaced by their successors. F-16C/D Block 50/52, edit. Originally deployed with the United States Air Force, they were upgraded and sent to Iraq as they became obsolete. The first Block 50 F-16 was delivered in late 1991. The aircraft is equipped with improved GPS/INS, and can carry an additional selection of advanced missiles. The AGM-88 HARM missile, JDAM, JSOW and WCMD. Block 50 aircraft are powered by the F-110 GE-129 while the Block 52 jets use the F-100 PW-229. Iraq was supplied 36 Block 50/52 jets, 24 single-seat and 12 twin-seat, that are also known by the designation F-16IQ. F-16C/D Block 50/52 Plus, edit. This was an export model and never entered service with the U.S. Air Force. All aircraft were shipped to various countries for delivery upon completion. This variant's main differences are the addition of support for conformal fuel tanks, CFTs, a dorsal spine compartment, the APG-68, V9, radar, an onboard oxygen generation system, a box, and HHMCS helmet. Also, the engine difference is the same as the 50/52. Block 50 using F-110 GE-129, while Block 52 uses F-100 PW-229. The CFTs are mounted above the wing, on both sides of the fuselage and are easily removable. They provide 440 US gallons, 1,665 L, or approximately 3,000 pounds, 1,400 kilograms, of additional fuel, allowing increased range or time on station and free up hard points for weapons instead of underwing fuel tanks. All two-seat plus aircraft have the enlarged avionics dorsal spine compartment which is located behind the cockpit and extends to the tail. It adds 30 cubic feet, 850 L, to the airframe for more avionics with only small increases in weight and drag. Poland took delivery of its first F-16C Block 52 Plus aircraft on the 15th of September, 2006. The Poland Peace Sky program includes 36 F-16Cs and 12 F-16Ds. All 48 aircraft were delivered in 2008. The Hellenic Air Force took delivery of its first F-16C Block 52 Plus aircraft on the 2nd of May, 2003. The Hellenic Air Force is the first air force in the world to operate this F-16 type. The total Greek order was 60 F-16C/D. The Israeli F-16I and its Singapore equivalent variant are based on the Block 52 Plus aircraft. In March 2010, it was announced that the Egyptian Air Force would purchase 20 Block 52 aircraft, 16 F-16Cs and 4 F-16Ds, the first of which arrived for testing in April 2012. Under the Peace-Onyx 3 XIT program, 165 of Turkish Air Force's F-16s have been upgraded to Block 50 Plus standards by Turkish Aerospace Industries. The Pakistan Air Force bought 12 F-16C and 6 F-16D Block 52 Plus fighters. F-16E/F, edit. F-16E, single seat, and F-16F, two-seat. Originally, the single-seat version of the General Dynamics F-16XL was to have been designated F-16E, with the twin-seat variant designated F-16F. This was sidelined by the Air Force's selection of the competing F-15E Strike Eagle in the Enhanced Tactical Fighter Fly-Off in 1984. The Block 60 designation had also previously been set aside in 1989 for the A-16, but this model was dropped. The F-16E/F designation now belongs to a version developed especially for the United Arab Emirates Air Force, and is sometimes unofficially called the Desert Falcon. F-16E/F Block 60, edit. The Block 60 was designed for the United Arab Emirates Air Force, WAF. Based on the F-16C/D Block 50/52, it features improved radar, avionics and conformal fuel tanks. At one time, this version was incorrectly thought to have been designated F-16U. A major difference from previous blocks is the Northrop Grumman /APG-80 Active Electronically Scanned Array, AESA, radar, which gives the airplane the capability to simultaneously track and destroy ground and air threats. The Block 60's General Electric F-110GE132 engine is a development of the 129 model and is rated at 32,500 lbf. 144 kN. The electronic warfare system is supposed to be quite advanced and includes the Northrop Grumman Falcon Edge Integrated Electronic Warfare Suite RWR together with the AN/ALQ165 self-protection jammer. Falcon Edge, which was developed by Northrop Grumman specifically for the Block 60, is capable of showing not only the bearing of any threat but also the range. The Block 60 allows the carriage of all Block 50/52 compatible weaponry as well as AIM-132 Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile, SRAM, and the AGM-84E Standoff Land Attack Missile, SLAM. The conformal fuel tanks provide an additional 450 US gallon, 2,045 L, of fuel, allowing increased range or time on station. This has the added benefit of freeing up hard points for weapons that otherwise would have been occupied by underwing fuel tanks. The Block 60 retains a MIL STD-1553 data bus to support certain legacy systems, but also features a MIL STD-1773 fiber optic data bus which offers a 1,000 times increase in data handling capability. UAE funded the entire $3 billion Block 60 development costs, and in exchange will receive royalties if any of the Block 60 aircraft are sold to other nations. According to press reports quoted by Flight International, this is the first time the US has sold a better aircraft, F-16, overseas than its own forces fly. Like the F-35, the Block 60 F-16 has a built-in FLIR/IRST/laser targeting system rather than using a dedicated pod that would occupy a hard point, increase drag and RCS. In 2014 the UAE requested an upgrade to Block 61 along with the purchase of 30 more aircraft at that level. However, the UAE cancelled the order of buying and upgrading the F-16E/F Block 61. F-16V, edit. On the 15th of February, 2012, Lockheed Martin unveiled a new version of their F-16 at the 2012 Singapore Air Show. The F-16V will feature enhancements including an AN/APG-83 Active Electronically Scanned Array, AESA, radar, an upgraded mission computer and architecture, and improvements to the cockpit, all capabilities identified by the US Air Force and several international customers for future improvements. The new variant is dubbed the Viper, which is intended to better operate with fifth-generation fighters, and should not be confused with Lockheed's F-16 in Block 70/72 Super Viper, which was offered to India for the medium multi-role combat aircraft competition and showcased at the 2009 Aero India Air Show. The new F-16V will become the new F-16 baseline, said George Standridge, Lockheed Martin Aeronautics Vice President of Business Development. On the 16th of October, 2015, the F-16V flew for the first time with an APG-83 Scalable Agile Beam Radar AESA, a new center pedestal display, a modernized mission computer, automatic ground collision avoidance system, and many other upgrades. This can be fitted on new production F-16s or retrofitted on existing ones. The first of these were for Republic of China Air Force, Taiwan, F-16 A/B Block 20S. The upgrade of its 144 aircraft fleet started in January 2017 and was completed in February of 2024. In 2019, Taiwan and the United States signed an $8 billion deal that would deliver 66 new build